Hello, beautiful people. My name is Jo, and welcome to another reading vlog. So, as I have been making my way through the romance genre as a whole, which is massive, by the way, as it should be, over the past year, I have been trying out every single subgenre that I can possibly try within the romance genre as a whole. One of the subgenres that I've wanted to try more of is historical romance. So, today we're going to be doing a historical romance try-a-chapter vlog. It's gonna be fun. I've got 5 books. I've got them in my lap. It's a tenuous situation. Okay, first we have The Texans Wager by Jodie Thomas. The only thing that I know about this book is that there's some sort of wife's lottery and we have a grumpy hero. We have a broody hero. Next we have The Duchess Deal by Tessa Dare. All I know is that some guy is coming home from war. There's a plane going by. Of course there is. You'd think I live next to an airport, the amount of planes that go by. So the only thing I know about this is that this Duke guy has just returned home from war and he has come about this problem. He needs to produce some heirs. That means he needs to get married. And our heroine Emma walks into his library one day wearing a wedding dress and he decides that she will do. Sounds like an arranged marriage. Sounds interesting to me. Next we have The Rakehess by Scarlett Peckham. The only thing that I know about this is that our main heroine is a feminist queen. She is a rakehess instead of a rake. The only type of rake book that I've ever read was Cold Hearted Rake and I didn't love it. I thought the guy was an asshole. So I'm interested to see how I think about this one. This one is one of the ones that I'm the most interested in because the heroine of this book just sounds amazing. Next we have Bound to a Warrior by Donna Fletcher. I read the first in this series. I liked it. I didn't love it. The first one was kind of like an arranged marriage, brooding hero. I feel like this one's going to be the same type of vibe, which I normally like that, so we'll see. And last but not least, we have Dreaming of You by Lisa Kleypas. In this one, it looks like our heroine is a prim and proper gentlewoman. She starts getting curious about some dangerous man named Derek Craven. The 3 that I am the most interested in are The Rakehess, The Texans Wager because woman's lottery, feminism, I don't know, and Dreaming of You by Lisa Kleypas. So I think the first one that I'm going to start with is Dreaming of You by Lisa Kleypas. The first chapter is kind of long in my opinion. It's like 31 pages and that's why I'm going to start with this one because I want to get the long one out of the way. I am 19 pages into the first chapter of Dreaming of You and I am really enjoying it. What is happening in here so far is we're following, oh god, what is his name? Derek? I've got Declan on the brain for some reason. We're following Derek Craven and at the beginning of this story, he sees this woman in an alleyway. He's like, what the fuck is she doing here, right? I've learned a new term, rookery. Have no idea what it is, but it sounds like kind of like where the gambling halls and prostitutes go. Anyway, so this girl's hanging out in the rookery and he's like, she doesn't look like she belongs here. And he makes his way past her and he ends up getting attacked by these 2 guys. And she, our main heroine, Sarah, is actually in this alley because she is a novelist. Love her already. She is a novelist and she is doing some research for her most recent novel that she's currently writing that is about sort of gambling and things like that. And she really wants to get the details right. So she's in this alleyway listening to people's conversations and writing down terminology that they use. And she sees this guy being attacked. And of course, she decides to pull out a gun and shoot one of the guys that's attacking him. And it's so just like amazing because she is this prim and proper lady. She's like, unhand him, sir, or I must shoot. And of course she doesn't aim for the guy, but she ends up hitting him anyway. And it's just so funny. And so she ends up helping our main man, Derek, back to his club because he is the infamous Derek Craven. And Derek is obviously, he's been beat up. He's a little bit exasperated by Sarah and I'm just really loving their dynamic right now. I finished the first chapter of Dreaming of You. I really enjoyed it. It feels like historical mafia in a way. Derek owns this gambling den and he's kind of like a self-made man. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and knock out another long one and we're gonna read the first chapter of The Texans Wager. I am so excited. I finished finished the first chapter of the Texans Wager. In this, we are following 3 women, Bailey, Sarah, and Lacey, I believe her name is. They were a part of this like wagon train and somehow got left behind because they were considered undesirable. They get to Texas and a man shows up out of the blue and wants to buy their wagon, and they say no. They finally agree on a price, and he decides that he's going to take the wagon and Lacey, and they kill him. They kill him, which Bailey says is her second murder. With everything that happened in the first chapter, it still felt a little bit long-winded for me. It felt like the majority of the chapter was just them traveling from when they got left from the wagon train until when they get to Texas. I definitely did not like it as much as Dreaming of You, but it was definitely interesting. It's one of those that is like a setup chapter, I would say, but it was long-winded. It was kind of slow. It's definitely one that I want to continue on with in the future, but I don't know if I'm going to continue on with it for this reading vlog. The next one that I'm going to read a chapter of is The Rakess by Scarlett Peckham. Okay, so if you can hear a train in the background, that's because there is a train. Okay, so our Rakess goes to meet this guy named Henry, who she had some dealings with, some trifles with back in the day. And she sees this guy drawing something on a sketch pad, and she thinks it's him, so she approaches him, and turns out to be this Scottish architect named Adam Anderson. Obviously not the person she's supposed to meet, and she's like, "The man comes calling, let him know that I'm over there," you know? It's really interesting. It's enough to make me want to keep going, but not so much that I feel grounded in the story, if you know what I mean. I'm not as intrigued as I am with Dreaming of You, but I am super intrigued. Hi, it is the next day. So I still have this is backwards. 2 first chapters to read. We're going to read the first chapter of Bound to a Warrior, and I will let you know my thoughts. Lord have mercy, this book throws you right in. I was so confused at the beginning. Duncan, at the beginning of this story, is being led at sword point. He is handcuffed to this woman named Mercy, and they're led to this cliff where they have the choice of either, get impaled or jump. So they decide to jump off the cliff, still handcuffed to each other, and that's the chapter. They land in a river, they get out of the river, and he's like, "Oh my God, look at this perky chick with these perky breasts. She's so hot." And that's that's the chapter. Was it good? I'm not sure. It was a little clunky for me and a little fast. I feel like I was just kind of thrown in there. Let's read the first chapter of the Tessa Dare one that I can't remember. It's literally been less than 10 minutes and I can't remember the damn name. Okay, I finished the first chapter of The Duchess Deal, and now I remember why I liked the Wallflower Wager so much. It is so kind of tongue-in-cheek, really kind of funny. It's just funny. The way that these characters interact with each other, there's really, really good banter, even within the first chapter. We're following our heroine, Emma, I believe her name is. She is a seamstress. She is like a vicar's daughter turned seamstress. We don't know what happened with that yet. She is showing up unannounced on the doorstep of the Duke of Ashbury, who conveniently is trying to find a wife. She shows up at his house because she had made a dress for his ex-fiance and she never got paid for it, and the rent is due. She's come for the money. So she walks in wearing this wedding dress that she made for his ex-fiance. The Duke has presumably just returned from war, and he has burns all over the right side of his body, and that is what ended his engagement. He believes himself to be a monster. I really liked this one. I enjoyed it. I definitely want to keep reading. Now I'm confused. I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Dreaming of You. I'm gonna continue on with this one, and if I change my mind, then I'll let you know, but I really don't think I will. Okay, what is wrong with me? Dreaming of You is the second book in a series. I'm gonna continue on with it because I'm already invested now. I'm already invested at this point. When it comes to historicals, I'm just like hopping around. I'm hopping around. So I am 118 pages into Dreaming of You. I really, really love this so far. I mean, it is so freaking good. Our heroine, Sarah, is kind of like this, I don't know, like field mouse, kind of eccentric spinster. She's an author, and they make this kind of deal pretty much where she can go into his gambling club and get more research for her new novel that she's doing about gambling. She is so just lovely. She has so many questions. She's so inquisitive, and she's kind to everyone she meets, but she also has this desire within her to kind of take a step into the dark side of this world. She wants to be able to experience that, and I love her so much. And our hero, Derek, he was born pretty much in the gutter, and he was raised by prostitutes and criminals, and he has literally taken the world by its horns. And now that he's an adult, he has got this really successful gambling den. He's got all this money. He's got any woman that he could ever want, you know, lapping at his tailcoat, but he's still unsatisfied, and he's lonely, and he doesn't really trust anybody. And he is definitely tall, dark, and traumatized. Tall, dark, and traumatized is my favorite hero type, and I love it so much. He is obviously really drawn to our heroine, but she also kind of gets on his nerves because she's always places where she shouldn't be, where it's not appropriate for her to be. He also has a couple friends, Lily and Alex, who I have now found out are the hero and heroine of book 1, because I was literally reading this and I was writing down, oh my gosh, I like his friend Lily, and then I looked it up to mark it as currently reading on Goodreads because I hadn't done that yet, and it was like book 2. So I looked at book 1 and there's Lily and Alex. No wonder I like her so much. She was known as like Lawless Lily. She's a very interesting character. The banter is amazing. The situations are so funny, but they're also endearing. I just want to spend my entire afternoon reading this, and I might do that. You never know. I finished Dreaming of You by Lisa Kleypas, and I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I absolutely adored this book. The heroine, Sarah, really stood out to me. She was eccentric, she was inquisitive, she was kind of dorky and naive a little bit, but I really found her so charming and just fun to read from. The hero, Derek, is tall, dark, and traumatized, which is my favorite type of hero. I absolutely loved him. He is a character that has been treated poorly in the past and distances himself from women and also his feelings. All of the women that he's been with in the past believe that he cannot love. It's not that he cannot love, it's that he doesn't trust his heart in the hands of someone else. So he puts on this front and this hard exterior to kind of push people away. I really liked their dynamic together because of Sarah's inquisitive nature. She wants to know all about Derek. She wants him to open up. She asks him questions about his life. And Derek, because she is so kind of innocent and away from this world of darkness that he's lived in for his entire life, he feels okay with opening up to her and allowing her to see the kind of darkness that's surrounded him for his whole life. And I really loved them. I loved them. I also really liked the side characters in this. There is a butler type character, I don't know the terminology, named Worthy, and I really liked him. There's also prostitutes that work in Derek's gambling den that I really enjoyed. The conflict in this was dramatic and exciting and frustrating, and I was on the edge of my seat to find out what was going to happen. The conflict in this was not a typical type of miscommunication or anything like that that normally would get on my nerves. It was something different, and I really liked it. It was like a breath of fresh air. This was a book that I constantly felt like I wanted to pick up. I did not want to put it down. Derek and Sarah's relationship was a slow burn until it wasn't, and it exploded, and I love those types of romances. For wanting to kind of dip my toes a little bit more into historical romance, this was the perfect book to do it. It was fast-paced, it was fun, it was interesting. I was constantly intrigued by everything that was going on. I felt Sarah and Derek's chemistry between each other, like it was tangible. So that is going to be all for this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next week with another vlog.